Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. What we're going to be talking about today is the best language to start off with, and what in general the best programming language is for a developer, right? And so the first thing I want to say right off the bat is that for a beginner, it doesn't matter what language you start with. Really the goal when you're starting out is to see whether or not you actually like programming. You want to kind of experiment with it, kind of get your feet wet and see if it's actually the path for you. And then you can actually worry about what language you're working with, what you're building and all that kind of stuff. But when you're actually, you've made the decision that you want to learn how to code and you're trying to pick a language, one of the biggest mistakes people make is, taking too much time to decide what language to learn. And, people ask all the time, what's the best language? And really the answer varies. It varies on what you want to work with, what your goals are and all that kind of stuff. So there really is no correct answer, but based on what you want to work with, there are the better languages and worse languages to pick. So we'll be going through that today. So if you guys are new to the channel, my name is John Vine. What we do here is we talk about software engineering. If you guys like the content, like the video and subscribe to the channel, it's completely free for you guys and it means so much to me, and you can always unsubscribe as well. So please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. So when you're coding, there's so many things you can work on. There's like games, there's websites, there's if you want to just work on backend, if you want to work with data, there's a ton of different languages and a ton of different things you can do. So the first thing I would recommend, if you're trying to pick a language and you're really set on picking one, I would think about, okay, what is it that I want to build, and then go from there. So in my opinion, if you don't know what language to pick, I would just pick JavaScript. I think JavaScript is a great language to start off with. It's relatively simple to pick up, and you can use it on the front end and the back end. So the amount of projects that you can work on really varies, and you can actually have your whole tech stack be in JavaScript if you want. There's front end libraries like React and Angular. There's back end stuff like Node.js. So JavaScript really gives you a lot of things to work with, and coincidentally, it's the most popular language on the planet. So, it's very in demand and it's a very good language to learn. So, if you have no idea, I would just say, just start there. It really doesn't matter, but I'll make the choice for you. Another language you can learn is Python. I'm sure all of you guys have heard about Python. It's one of the most widely used languages, on the planet. There's a lot of great libraries. There's a lot of great front-end and back-end libraries for Python, actually. So you can work on both. It's also very demand in the industry. One of the highest paying jobs you can get is going to be with Python, and a lot of companies are looking for Python developers. And also, it's a very versatile language. You can do a lot with a very small amount of code. So it's a great language to, start off with as well. Another language I would recommend as well is Java. Java uses a lot of object-oriented programming. So, it's a great language to learn those types of concepts. And, as well, it's also one of the top languages used in the world. It's very popular. It's been used for a super long time. And, because of that, a lot of companies use Java. And naturally, it's very in demand. Even though it's an older language, a lot of people are hiring, a lot of companies are hiring for Java developers because it still is a very in-demand language. Now, it's not one of the newer languages out there, but there are still a lot of really cool things you can do. And there's a lot of great opportunities with Java. So Java should be one of the languages you consider learning. Another really popular language these days is Rust. It's very in demand these days. It's similar to C++. And companies, a lot of very big companies are using Rust to develop their applications. For example, Discord is starting to use Rust as well. So that might be a choice you pick as well. Now, if you want to work with mobile apps, if you want to develop for iOS or Android, there's a number of different things you can pick. Traditionally for Android, Java has been the language that people use, but these days Kotlin has become more popular, and Kotlin is similar to Java, but they're not the same. And so if you want to do Android development, I would recommend, learning Java or Kotlin. And for iOS, Swift is obviously the most popular language for iOS. It was actually developed by Apple themselves. So if you want to do iOS, I would recommend checking out Swift. There are a couple of other libraries as well, though, that you can use and kind of develop once for iOS and Android, and then it kind of works for both, which is really awesome. And some of these libraries are Flutter. I believe it's developed by Google, and it uses a language called Dart. And then there's also React Native, which is developed by Facebook and uses JavaScript. So if you already know JavaScript, you might want to check out React Native. Now, if you want to develop games, there's a couple of very popular engines out there like Unreal and Unity. And basically Unreal uses C++ and Unity uses C#. So guys, I didn't even mention C++ and C#, but based on what you want to learn, you're going to discover new languages that are used to implement that. So I would really recommend looking into what you want to build before looking into the languages, because it'll introduce you to a couple of different languages, and then you can do the research yourselves. Guys, it doesn't really matter what language you really start with. The important thing, if you're a beginner, is to get your feet wet and really see if coding is actually for you. And if that is the case, then it really depends on what you want to work on. The language doesn't matter. Don't look at the language as the goal. Look at what you're trying to build as the goal, and the language is just what you use to get there. So really the language shouldn't be your priority. It should be more what you have a passion for, what kind of projects you want to work on, and what really is your goal as a software developer. Now, keep in mind, some of these languages are going to be harder to learn and pick up than others. So that should just be part of your thinking as well if you know you're just starting out. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps me so much. I would really appreciate it, and it's completely free for you guys. And like I said before, you can always unsubscribe. Also, if you have anything you want to add to the discussion, feel free to leave a comment down below. And as always, guys, enjoy your day.